Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and this week we are going to be reviewing One Piece Chapter 1071, A Hero's Offensive. Uh-oh. Man, what's that going to be about? We will see. And then so like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm just going to say the title and the ending got me hyped up. Just going to say that. But first we got Kuma making an entrance at the red line. What were your thoughts on this?
So this whole chapter is has a lot of stuff going on in it. So with Kuma, I was expecting him to like teleport directly to Egghead. And it looks like he can teleport himself faster than he can teleport other people. But just looking at where he ended up at the red line at the base of Mary Joie, I wonder if he's going to try and attack the celestial dragons at all, because he's it looks like he's like looking up to the top of the red line.
Yeah. So, do you think potentially he's trying to kidnap a celestial dragon so that he can use him as like a hostage, so Bonnie doesn't get like killed by the Seraphim and CP0?
I'm not really sure, because this seems like he's basically it doesn't seem like this is in his programming, unless this is something I don't know. I think we talked about how he might be something like of a satellite of Dr. Vegapunk, where he kind of knows what's going on. Like, he knows that Bonnie's on Egghead because he reacted. I forget exactly when he woke up, but it was when Bonnie was on Egghead. So, I'm just wondering about that. And I like how they're also painting him as like, oh, he's a man with no shred of humanity.
Yeah.
Like, they're painting him as the tyrant, even though like everyone else is says like he's really kind. So I think there's going to be some backstory with him where we find out what really happened.
Right.
But
and he seems to be kind of known, at least to this area, of being a slave. You know, like that's what he's known now, not as, but well, he is known as a tyrant, but now he's more known as the slave of the celestial dragons, the invincible slave.
Yeah, because he was there from the time skip forward.
Right.
However long that is. Time is nebulous in One Piece.
For sure. And then, so it was kind of interesting to talk about how Lucci was talking about how the defenses are so strong at Egghead Island and everything. And it was interesting to see Lucci say, "I refuse to accept Straw Hat as an emperor." So I think this kind of goes into a little bit with the awakenings and the willpower and hockey in a way. Like, what kind of puts you above the others is like kind of this ruthless ambition in a way, you know? And I know, Luffy's stronger than Lucci, but I think this is like another indicator that he's not like, even though he was struggling against Luffy, he still wants to take him out in a way, you know?
Yeah.
He's not like scared at all.
Yeah. I mean, we look at he was scrapping with Gear 5 Luffy, and he's still up. He has like one bandage, and that's it. And I know people like to make fun of him that he didn't even land a hit, but I mean, he's not that worse for wear. And I thought that was interesting, that he's refusing to accept him.
Yeah, and so I don't know, like maybe there's still more in his arsenal. We don't know, potentially. It was definitely like a quick fight. And he hasn't taken a significant injury or KO'd going against Gear 5 Luffy, and I think that's a pretty big feat in itself. Yeah, we just see like some more back and forth between all of Vegapunk's various robots and everything.
Yeah.
And now it was interesting how there's this question: why can't we retaliate against these fools? They're after our necks. But like they're going to put the focus on basically roughly like defense for the most part, you know. But again, like you're just trying to see the distinctions among the personalities at work here too.
Yeah. And I thought that was kind of interesting because they all seem to have their own sort of autonomy. Even though they're not, they're all part of Vegapunk. But yeah, just seeing them like, oh, we don't matter so long as the main body escapes. It's like bringing into question like what makes a person, I guess, because
right.
Like you wouldn't technically call them people, but I mean they are their own things. So yeah, I'm wondering if they're all gonna make it to have Vegapunk escape, or what Oda's gonna do with that, because we were very interested in having like the Straw Hats interacting, but if we have Vegapunk and all the satellites along with the Straw Hats, and Bonnie, that's a lot.
Right. And so I'm wondering if this is going to be like a whole pursuit thing where they basically one by one they're going to start getting picked off, you know, going up there, because by the end of the chapter CP0 has already like confronted the ship, you know. Which is, you know, crazy to think about. And so first off, who do you think this ally is that Vegapunk's trying to contact?
So yeah, I have no idea. I'm confused about that because it just kind of comes out of nowhere. I was trying to see if I could tell anything from the Denden Mushi, but I don't know. These are slightly lower quality scans, so I'm not sure if we're missing anything with that, but you can't really tell. And it's ambiguous to like what the gender is and everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting, like number 3 was saying like they'd have nowhere left to hide if they're in the government sites too.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's like, I don't know. Just some names that popped into my mind while I was thinking about it was like Saul, maybe. But Saul's in Elbaf, and we see like later on in the chapter that stuff's going to be going on at Elbaf.
Yeah.
The only other one that popped into my mind, which would be like he would have to be like a triple or quadruple agent at this point, would be Aokiji, because he's such a wild card for everything.
Yeah.
But then I kind of not necessarily ruled him out, but there's like they'd have nowhere left to hide if they're in the government sites. So they're out of the government sites at this point. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Potentially Sword.
I don't know, because we see stuff with Sword and the Marines happening later on. So I'm not sure.
But in a sense, like, yeah, they see them as Marines, but do they see them in the side of Sword? You know,
I don't know.
Right, and I think that's kind of an interesting concept there. So, because if they like go and defend Vegapunk, then they really are like ready to defend, basically. You know, and at that point, you know, which I'm curious. Maybe it's like Sengoku, for example. You know, like there's definitely very ambiguous. So I don't think it's like the revolutionaries, because in a way, they're already in the sights, obviously, clearly,
Yeah.
of this, and we saw them before this whole thing too, you know. Uh, so I don't think it could be them, and since Kuma's not with them anymore, I don't think they can get here quick enough to help out Vegapunk. So
Yeah.
that's why I kind of think it might be Sword, because they're close by enough to help out,
Yeah. I mean, I had like one other like out there thing. That would be kind of related to the revolutionaries. It's just an out there theory. I wonder if it's like Luffy's mom or something. That's just one of the random things, but I don't know. It probably has no weight to it, but
yeah.
But yeah.
But it was interesting to see Vegapunk. I don't know. They're really like holding on to Bonnie's hatred of Vegapunk and everything. So I kind of thought that was interesting there.
Yeah.
And then we see the Frontier Dome being deactivated. That's online. So who would disable it, and for what purpose? Is someone in control of the room? No, our detectors aren't picking up anyone. So what do you think that's going on with there?
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird that there would be no one that someone would be undetectable by like something from Vegapunk, because you think he would have the most advanced like sensors in the world, but I mean, the only one, if they awaken their fruit, would be Shiryu.
Which would be that'd be crazy too. Blackbeard trying to get all of this in Vegapunk as well. It was interesting to focus on Stussie's face though.
Yeah,
because she's not saying anything, but there's just a clip. So I think there's more weight to that. This might be like she might have a connection to Mads.
Yeah, because of the previous chapter's cover page, there was that mysterious female.
Yeah. So I don't know. I found that interesting, the close up on her face, and Kaku's kind of like the first one that kind of jumps in, and I think in a way that's kind of a parallel to Zoro's character too. He just kind of like jumps in without really hesitation stuff too. So it's interesting how their opponents, so just out of characterization. While Lucci kind of has more skepticism in a way, and then so he does Tempest kicks Sky Slicer. Is that the same Tempest kick he did at Ennie's lobby where he sliced the tower in half?
I think it is, yeah. I'm pretty sure it is.
Which would then kind of be like, so like Lucci's like most powerful attack was Rokogan, and he led with that, and then this would be Kaku's most powerful attack, and he's leading it with this.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you see the evolution in strength, because he had to like wind up in his giraffe form to even use it. And now he's just using it right off the rip. So,
in his like a human form too.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny to be like, so slightly vindicated with this. It wasn't exactly like him. I don't know. There wasn't like him being confused as Usopp again. But again, this is another callback where when they met for the first time on the ship, and now they're fighting on the ship again.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, but this time it's a new ship, and now they're at like a new power too. So it's like a reintroduction in all ways. We haven't seen Brook do anything though. He's on the ship too.
I was wondering where he was at.
Yeah. Oh, and also another thing, Zoro was napping too when they first met as well. So,
I wonder if he had the same. Did he have the same line? "Who interrupted my nap"? We'd have to double check.
We'd have to double check on that point. But yeah, Kaku looks shook. We do end up like seeing them clashing like right thereafter. Again, just for the sake of power scaling, because we're gonna be doing top 30 soon. I think a lot of people like a couple weeks ago would be like, "Oh yeah, Kaku would just get one-shotted by Zoro," And it was like, well, no, looks kind of like, I wouldn't say even, but they're clashing and everything. think that's kind of a feat if it's going against the first commander of the Straw Hats, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so basically, and also we noted that they got the Frontier Dome back online, and then, which I thought was interesting. But so do you think, I guess they weren't able to get the Seraphim behind the dome, only CP0.
Yeah, because it looks like they had to skywalk up there.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's just the three ones, Lucci, Kaku, and Stussy, who made it up there.
So I'm wondering if Stussy, since she's behind, that she knows what to deactivate behind the dome, and she can like destroy it, and then the Seraphim come crashing in, which kind of then like leads to them having to escape it or something like that.
Maybe.
Because there's definitely like they're like getting closer and closer to getting Vegapunk on the ship, but I feel like something bad's gonna happen, whether that's Kizaru showing up or Seraphim crashing in.
He's still on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot going on. Which is kind of interesting. And then
speaking of stuff going on.
Eustace Kid.
Yeah.
So I guess Kid's going to Elbaf, but not Straw Hats. Who would have saw that coming?
I mean, they're gonna go there. That's like next up on their list, but I think it's interesting that we're getting another Kid, potentially like him being around the Straw Hats again so soon.
Yeah. Which is good. I'm not like a big Kid fan, but I want to see a rival actually develop for Luffy. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Now, if Big Mom is theoretically going to show up on Elbaf, it would be interesting if Kid ran into her, again.
Yeah, it would. I think it's interesting, the different ways that they all took, like Luffy, Law, and Kid when they separated.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, if Kid met up with Blackbeard, like, he would probably stand less of a chance than Law would. Than Kid. Yeah. Oh, no, then Law would, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Maybe just because, like Law's crew showing more confidence, but I think Kid has a more powerful crew overall, though.
Maybe. I mean, we just haven't seen that much, but
yeah.
But yeah,
I think Killer's notable,
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Elbaf is going to be like with it, especially if Kid's going to be involved in the plot, because there was the theory that that Shanks was going to have stuff to do with Elbaf.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think Shanks is going to have anything to do with Elbaf at this point, mainly because it would make more sense for Big Mom, if she's still alive, to be there. But yeah.
Yeah, and then so I just kind of thought of one connection just now. So when we get to the last part of this, again, it's kind of interesting. They need like clearance to go after Yonko's crew, and Arp wants to go after Blackbeard. I'm sorry, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting though, I mean, most likely he's dead, but Blackbeard's fighting Law right now. And by the off chance that he's still alive. Okay, just hear me out. I know this is a dead horse I've been beating, and I support the Randy Troy Law's sword theory. If Garp goes to help rescue Kobe and he runs into Law right there. And then you have the Law, Kobe, Garp And most likely Garp's a part of Sword, and then we get Law's identity revealed as a Sword agent in this area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
So,
that would be interesting. Yeah. I'm hyped to see some Garp, although I think this, I have more hopes for Law surviving Blackbeard than I do Garp.
Yeah, no, I do too. I'm just trolling, but yeah.
But
I think it's because remember, and then Aokishi's gonna potentially be there too, another Sword member.
Yeah, potentially, but
potentially, right? So
yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, I can't believe we didn't think about Garp, because we've never seen Garp really proactive in a lot of scenarios. So him going to Whitebeard's base is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and I think this further hits home the point that Kobe's the new Garp, not Smoker, right?
Yeah.
And I think, here's a kind of another weird connection. If we're seeing Cypherpole right now, kind of like a callback to Ennie's lobby, obviously tons of callbacks, right? Well, what happened at the end of Ennie's lobby? We got to see an upgraded Kobe, and we got to see Garp for the first time, and then Garp and Aokiji were on the same ship, and now Garp, Kobe, Aokiji might all be on the same ship, i.e. Blackbeard's ship, partying it out. And then another thing that happened at the end of Ennie's lobby was Blackbeard defeating Ace. So I don't think it's a coincidence, because like Oda has written like this before, but we're seeing a lot of connections really parallel very quickly now.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah.
But
I could see something bad happening in the Garp right here, though.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, I think that we're forgetting that, was it Sengoku that stated like Garp could be an admiral, but he doesn't want to be under the Celestial Dragons. So
right.
So he's strong enough to hold the title.
Yeah.
So I want to see the Garp versus Blackbeard fight. I don't want it to be off screened, but in most likely it's gonna be.
I feel like he can't do that though. He can't have Garp die off screen. Because
you wanted Shanks to die off screen.
Okay, that's fine. But like we like I think like with Garp though, we haven't seen him fight extensively.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna kind of be our last point, and you know what? Sengoku might join up with Garp too. Right?
Maybe.
Because Sengoku's kid is basically Law.
I'm just wondering, like, why is Kobe so important that Garp is gonna fight a Yonko Blackbeard with the darkness and the earthquake powers?
Yeah.
Like, why is Kobe so important? We know he likes Kobe, but it's like, it's almost like like a Marineford type situation.
There's obviously, I think there's a lot more to him that meets the eye with this, and I think in a way there might be some confidence here that he has more information about them standing a better chance than just him going. I mean, granted, he is like of a monkey clan, right? So they are really like impulsive and that kind of stuff, but I don't know. Like I said, potentially there's two Sword agents that's there to help him out. Is all I'm saying. And Sengoku might join with him too, and it would be kind of fitting. Oh, here's another connection. But here it would be fitting if both Garp and Sengoku fought Blackbeard again, because they clashed with him in Marineford, and then Blackbeard takes them both down in a way.
Yeah, this could be like the whole, because Oda's really kind of pushing like this is like a new era. There's no new Yonko and everything. So I'm wondering if like it's like, well, we're getting rid of all the old era now with Garp and Sengoku and all of that.
Which means Rayleigh will be off screen soon, most likely, by Eustace Kid, But so
Yeah.
we have that to look forward to as well.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna have to reevaluate our if if Blackbeard dips when Garp shows up, then he's like the same level of threat as Rayleigh. So we're gonna have to talk about power scaling with that.
I think the difference is here, Garp's the hunter,
Yeah.
and in the other case, Blackbeard was kind of the hunter, and he just kind of backed off. But now he's like the hunted in this scenario.
Yeah.
But I will also just note the Helmeppo character growth from when we first met him. Actually caring about somebody else's life.
Yeah.
He has come a long way. Let's be real. That's some character growth. From when we first met him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not. I don't hate him when he's on screen like I did before.
Yeah.
When he first showed up.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah.
So, anyways, any closing thoughts? I thought it was a phenomenal chapter that I was not expecting this year, and also was not expecting everything we just got, in terms of content.
Yeah. Well, I think this was like a week or two early that we got these scans. So, So yeah, it's gonna be a couple weeks without any chapters, but this is definitely a good way to start the year of chapters.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it's weird. I'm almost more excited for what's going on outside of Egghead Island right now. There's just a lot of hype going on.
Which I didn't think was possible, to be honest.
Yeah, it just compared to other series, there's always stuff happening outside of the main story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, you have any closing thoughts?
No, that's about it. I just bet Zoro is begging Chopper for another Mink pill right now because he's gonna need it in the next coming chapters against Kaku. But anyways, that is this week's chapter. I'm trolling, kind of, and we're gonna have a lot of content coming out, so look forward to that soon. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.
See ya.